9 things high-value men never do, low-value always do. Old Stoic wisdom. The true measure of a man often lies not in what he does, but in what he chooses not to do. This wisdom has been echoed through time, from ancient philosophers to modern thought leaders, and it's never more apparent than when comparing high-value men to low-value men. Research and timeless wisdom reveal 12 key actions that high-value men refrain from, actions that low-value men frequently engage in. The ability to discern these differences can have a profound impact on your relationships with women and your success in life. As you embark on the path to becoming a high-value man, understanding these distinctions will elevate your self-awareness and presence. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Ralph Waldo Emerson. If you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself, attracting the right people, and cultivating lasting success, you'll want to pay close attention to the insights shared in this video. This channel is dedicated to helping you unlock your full potential and build meaningful connections. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Let's dive into the 9 things high-value men never do, and low-value men always do. Number 9. They're not good guys. Don't get this wrong. Being a good guy is not a bad thing. It's not that being a good person is a bad thing, but when you constantly prioritize the happiness of others over your own, you risk losing yourself in the process. The idea of always putting others first might seem noble at first, but it can lead to self-sacrifice and manipulation. High-value men are not the type to try to please everyone or to bend over backward just to make others feel comfortable, even at their own expense. They recognize that true value comes from setting strong personal boundaries and living life by their own standards. This doesn't mean that high-value men are selfish or inconsiderate. Rather, they are intentional with how they spend their time and energy. They know what they want from life and pursue it unapologetically. High-value men understand that by setting clear boundaries and prioritizing their own well-being, they're not only creating a life that they enjoy, but are also better able to contribute to others in a meaningful way. By choosing to invest in themselves, they can be of greater service to the people they care about, but only when it aligns with their values and goals. In the modern world, it's crucial to stop being a people pleaser and start living with purpose. You can't pour from an empty cup, so high-value men ensure they're filling their own cup first. In contrast, low-value men fall into the trap of people-pleasing. They allow others to dictate their actions and sacrifice their own needs in an attempt to be liked or accepted. This behavior may earn them short-term approval, but it leads to resentment and frustration in the long run. Low-value men are often seen as passive, allowing others to take advantage of them because they believe it's the right thing to do. They fear rejection and conflict, and as a result, they end up compromising their own happiness and values. This not only diminishes their self-worth, but also weakens their position in relationships, both personal and professional. The lesson here is clear. High-value men refuse to sacrifice their dignity or integrity for the sake of pleasing others. They recognize their worth and live in alignment with their own principles, not the ever-changing expectations of the people around them. In modern life, where pressure to conform is often high, the ability to stand firm in your own beliefs and desires is what truly sets high-value men apart. So, stop worrying about being the good guy and start focusing on being the best version of yourself, someone who isn't afraid to set boundaries and live authentically. Number 8. They don't try to change or fix people. When it comes to relationships, high-value men never try to change or fix people. High-value men never try to change or fix others, particularly when it comes to relationships. They recognize that everyone has their own set of strengths, weaknesses, and imperfections. Rather than imposing their own vision of perfection on others, they embrace people for who they truly are, appreciating the unique qualities that make them who they are. This mindset stems from a deep understanding that people are not projects to be fixed, but individuals to be accepted and understood. On the other hand, low-value men often fall into the trap of trying to change or fix others. They believe that by altering their partners, they can mold them into the perfect companion. However, this is a futile pursuit because people do not exist to meet the expectations of others. Trying to change someone inevitably leads to resentment, frustration, and conflict, creating a toxic atmosphere in the relationship. This is because when you attempt to control someone's thoughts, feelings, or actions, you disrupt the natural flow of connection and trust. Relationships built on the premise of change often become battlegrounds, where each partner feels pressured to alter their true self to fit an ideal that may not even align with their own values. A modern Stoic man, therefore, not only accepts the imperfection of others, but also takes responsibility for his own actions, knowing that he cannot change another person, but he can control his reactions. It's not about being passive, but about understanding the limits of one's influence. High-value men know that they have the power to change their own perceptions and reactions, and in doing so, they create an environment of peace and acceptance within themselves and with others. In real life, this means that when you're in a relationship, be it romantic, professional, or otherwise, focus on fostering respect and understanding. Instead of trying to fix someone's flaws, focus on how you can grow and support each other. Approach relationships from a place of mutual respect, recognizing that change comes from within and that it's the willingness to embrace imperfection that builds strong, meaningful connections. Number 7. They never let fear control them. Fear, an emotion we all encounter, is an inevitable part of life. However, what sets high-value men apart is their ability to acknowledge fear without allowing it to dictate their actions. They understand that fear is simply a natural reaction, not a force that should halt their progress. Instead of shying away from challenges, high-value men embrace fear as a signal of growth and opportunity, learning from it rather than being ruled by it. They know that fear is temporary and that true growth comes from stepping outside their comfort zones. In contrast, low-value men are often controlled by fear. They allow it to decide what they do and don't do, missing out on life-changing opportunities in the process. Fear paralyzes them, keeping them stuck in familiar situations where they feel safe, even if those situations aren't fulfilling or conducive to their personal growth. They allow fear to make their decisions for them, which leads to a life of missed potential and stagnation. When we apply Stoic wisdom to our daily lives, we can see that fear, like all emotions, is something that can be managed, not feared. A modern Stoic does not ignore their fear, but faces it with clarity and strength. They accept that fear is part of the human experience, but they refuse to let it stop them from pursuing what they truly desire. In fact, Stoics believe that fear should be used as a tool to understand what truly matters and what needs to be addressed. High-value men embrace this Stoic life, recognizing that the greatest rewards often come from overcoming the obstacles that scare us the most. They are decisive, grounded, and unwavering in the face of fear, seeing each challenge as a chance to grow stronger. So, if you want to live a life that is not controlled by fear, adopt the mindset of the Stoics. Face your fears head-on, understand that they are temporary, and keep pushing forward. Fear should never hold the reins to your life. Instead, let it be the fuel that drives you toward your fullest potential. In this way, fear becomes not an obstacle, but a stepping stone toward a life of purpose, strength, and fulfillment. Come on, my wise men, comment, "Fear is my friend, and I will overcome fear." Number 6. They don't seek people's approval. High-value men don't seek people's approval. In fact, they actively reject it. Let that sink in for a moment. In today's world, most people spend their lives in search of validation from others. When making decisions, they ask themselves, will others approve? Will they like me? This constant need for approval from the outside world is what keeps so many men trapped in a cycle of doubt and dissatisfaction. But high-value men? They don't operate from this mindset. They understand that true power lies in making decisions based on their own values, their own desires, their own purpose, not in the opinions of others. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." A high-value man thinks for himself, and that is his strength. He doesn't concern himself with external validation because he has already validated himself. He knows that no one else can dictate his path. He chooses his actions based on what aligns with his goals, his ambitions, and his core values. This kind of independence, this refusal to bow to the whims of others, is what gives him his sense of inner peace and control. He is a Stoic in every sense of the word. He faces life with confidence, regardless of what others may think or say. In the modern world, this is a rare and highly sought-after trait. Men who seek approval are constantly at the mercy of others' judgments. High-value men, on the other hand, control their own destiny. They make decisions that reflect their vision for their own lives, not the expectations or approval of others. By doing so, they create a life of purpose and satisfaction. Now think about your own life. Are you living for yourself, or are you living for others' opinions? Are you in control, or are you allowing others to steer your course? Understand this. When you stop seeking approval, you stop living under someone else's shadow and start living in your own light. The Stoic life teaches us that to be truly free, we must focus on what is within our control and let go of the rest. And the truth is, seeking approval is out of our control. The world will judge you no matter what. But when you focus on your own path, your own decisions, that's where true fulfillment lies. So I challenge you today to stop worrying about what others think, step into your own power, make decisions that serve you, and watch how your life transforms. You have the strength to do this. Comment below with the words, "I seek my own path," if you are ready to take control of your life. Don't wait for someone else's approval. Your life belongs to you. Number 5. They never put their happiness in someone else's hands. High-value men never put their happiness in someone else's hands. Too many men today make the costly mistake of believing their happiness is tied to their relationship status. They wait for the perfect partner, the perfect circumstances, to feel fulfilled, but in doing so, they surrender their power. This is a fundamental error, one that high-value men never make. A man who understands the Stoic life, like the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, knows that happiness comes from within. A high-value man does not depend on external validation or relationships to define his worth or happiness. He recognizes that his happiness is a choice, not a gift from someone else. The Stoics were clear. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By making their happiness their responsibility, high-value men take full ownership of their lives. They don't put their emotional well-being in the hands of others. They don't seek approval, nor do they need the validation of a partner to feel complete. This creates a level of emotional freedom and resilience that few others possess. And while others may struggle with dissatisfaction, constantly seeking external sources of happiness, high-value men continue to thrive, independent and unwavering. In today's world, where distractions are endless, it's easy to fall into the trap of looking for happiness outside yourself. But the high-value man knows better. He cultivates a deep sense of purpose, grounded in his own values, and finds peace in being in control of his own happiness. This doesn't mean rejecting love or relationships. It means understanding that the foundation of happiness lies within. When you take responsibility for your own joy, you stop giving others the power to shape how you feel. You stop chasing fleeting moments of happiness and start creating your own lasting fulfillment. So remember, no one else can give you happiness. That power is yours. Take it, own it, live it. Don't wait for someone else to complete you. You are enough. You are the master of your own joy. This is the mark of a true high-value man. Let that sink in. And if you believe in this principle, comment below with, "I am responsible for my own happiness." And let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this wisdom with others who need to hear it. Number 4. They are not needy or codependent. A high-value man knows that true strength comes from within. He is not needy or codependent, as he understands that validation must first come from self-respect and inner confidence. When you are constantly seeking reassurance from others, always looking for someone to affirm your worth, you reveal your insecurity. This neediness stems from a lack of self-sufficiency, and it's something women, and anyone for that matter, find off-putting. No one wants to be in a relationship with someone who is dependent on others to feel complete. Women are drawn to men who are strong in their own right, men who don't rely on external validation to feel good about themselves. They want someone who is self-sufficient, someone who stands tall on their own 2 feet, a man who understands his own value without needing others to remind him. When you control your thoughts and find validation within yourself, the world no longer holds the power to define your worth. True confidence doesn't seek approval or attention. Instead, it emanates from the individual who has learned to trust in their own strength and abilities. If you want to be the man who attracts respect and admiration, start by valuing yourself first. Don't wait for others to do it for you. You hold the key to your own worth. This is not just about relationships with women, but about the relationships you have with everyone in your life. People can sense insecurity and neediness from a mile away, but they are drawn to those who carry themselves with poise and independence. Remember that your true power lies in your ability to stand alone when needed, and not seek validation from anyone else. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you maintain your independence and confidence in your life? Share your opinions in the comments below, and let's discuss how we can all grow stronger together. Number 3. They never settle for less than they deserve. Sometimes, in order to get what we want, we have to settle for less than we deserve. But high-value men never do this. They do not bend or break when faced with a choice that asks them to settle for mediocrity. To them, settling is a betrayal of their own potential and a denial of the life they deserve. As the legendary philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." A high-value man is the master of his own destiny, and he will never allow himself to fall into the trap of accepting less than he is capable of achieving. In relationships, career, or life in general, he knows his value, and if the situation does not align with that value, he chooses solitude over dissatisfaction. They understand the importance of quality over quantity, and they will not waste their time or energy on things that don't serve their higher purpose. This doesn't mean they are rigid or unwilling to compromise. No, a high-value man knows that compromise is necessary, but it's always done on things that are not essential to his happiness, peace, and success. Compromise is made on the non-deal breakers, the things that won't impact the foundation of his life. Low-value men, however, are the opposite. They are always willing to settle for less than they deserve. They take jobs they dislike, they tolerate relationships that drain them, and they accept the status quo without ever questioning if they can do better. They often accept life's handouts without recognizing their potential to create a life that matches their aspirations. This is the stark contrast between a high-value man and one who has yet to step into his true power. High-value men know that the world does not owe them anything, but they also know they have the power to demand more. In today's world, it's easy to settle, to let fear or complacency dictate your choices. But high-value men, like Stoic warriors, choose the path of strength, clarity, and self-respect. They take control of their future and set the standards for their life. As Aristotle wisely said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The decision not to settle becomes their habit, their way of life, and it's this unshakable belief in their worth that drives them towards success and fulfillment. This is a lesson every man can learn. You must never settle. You must always demand the best from yourself and the world around you. The question is, will you settle for less, or will you rise to meet the life you truly deserve? If you're ready to stop settling, let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe to receive the guidance you need to elevate your life and become the high-value man you were born to be. And comment, I am a high-value man if you're also on the way to becoming an upgraded version of yourself. Number 2. They never beg for attention. High-value men understand the value of true confidence and self-assurance, and as such, they never beg for attention. Whether in relationships or social settings, they don't seek validation through external sources. A modern Stoic man knows that his worth isn't defined by the opinions of others. Instead of constantly trying to be the center of attention or chasing fleeting approval, he is comfortable in his own skin, letting his actions and integrity speak louder than any words. This is a core tenet of modern Stoicism, acknowledging that your value is intrinsic and not dependent on the need for others' recognition. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't guides high-value men in their interactions with the world. They don't feel the need to prove their worth because they know their actions will naturally garner respect. In contrast, low-value men constantly seek attention and validation. They may feel the pressure to be the life of the party, putting on a facade or performing for others just to be noticed. This desperate need for attention often comes from a place of insecurity and a lack of understanding of self-worth. A high-value men focus on cultivating their inner peace and strength, not wasting energy on external validation. The modern Stoic knows that attention is temporary, but integrity, wisdom, and confidence are lasting. In real life, this translates to being a person who others respect and trust, not because you're always in the spotlight, but because you embody calm, self-assurance, and genuine value. If you're looking to become a high-value man, start by embracing the Stoic principle of self-reliance and never seeking external validation. Do you agree with this view? Do you agree with this view? If yes, comment 1. If no, comment 2. And I would love to hear your views. Number 1. They're not controlling or manipulative. High-value men never resort to manipulation or control. They stand firm in their authenticity, understanding that to wear a false persona or engage in deceptive tactics not only diminishes their integrity, but also attracts the wrong people. This is the mark of a weak character, a man who lacks confidence and clarity in who he truly is. Stoic philosophy, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, emphasizes that the only control one should seek is over oneself. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he declared, urging men to seek strength from within, not by manipulating others. High-value men understand that genuine relationships are built on trust, respect, and openness, not on deceit or attempts to influence others for personal gain. They realize that pretending to be someone they are not, or trying to control people, only leads to unhealthy relationships rooted in lies. These are the kinds of men who believe in their worth, who don't need to bend others to their will. In contrast, low-value men often fall into the trap of manipulation because they fear their true selves won't be enough. They may feel powerless and believe that only through control can they secure their place in the world, especially in relationships. But this never works in the long run. It creates a cycle of distrust, bitterness, and dissatisfaction. It is not a powerful man who manipulates others. It is a man who is insecure, unsure of his own worth. High-value men, however, know that their power lies in their self-respect, their authenticity, and their ability to remain steadfast regardless of external pressures. By refusing to manipulate or control, they set themselves apart and attract only those who are aligned with their genuine self. To truly embody this principle, you must learn to resist the temptation of manipulation in all its forms. Remember, true influence and strength come not from controlling others, but from mastering yourself. It is time to stop playing games, to shed the false masks, and to step into the power of who you truly are. Stop pretending. Be authentic. Own your value. Let this be your mantra as you embark on your journey to becoming the high-value man you are meant to be.